a warm welcome to two special people. One is our keynote speaker, Professor Yunus. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you join our annual Humanistic Management Conference. I'm not sure if it's necessary to really introduce you because you're just so known. You are a social entrepreneur, an economist, a civil society leader, a Nobel Prize winner, a pioneer of microcredit, microfinance. And I think there are many things we can learn from you. The Norwegian Nobel Committee clarified as well that lasting peace cannot be achieved unless a large population group finds its way out of poverty. And in that sense, you have contributed so much to poverty alleviation. It is very inspiring. For me personally, I find it most inspiring that indeed one person can make a difference. Many people think, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, but it is possible that one person can make all the difference. And that is one of the things we can learn from you. It's a pleasure to see you join our Humanistic Management Conference. And I would equally welcome Professor Dr. Shivan Khan, who will take the questions forward with you. Professor Khan is working with the College of Northern Atlantic in Doha, Qatar. A warm welcome to you both, and Dr. Khan, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of Humanistic Management Network, I welcome you heartily, Dr. Yunus, to our conference. And thank you very much for agreeing to spend some time with us and share some of your wisdom and insights with us. The first question that I'm sure a lot of people would be interested to know is, you are the inventor of microcredit, one of the most important movements in the history of anti-poverty work, which has pulled millions out of poverty around the world. Looking back, what do you think has been the key factors to make the microcredit movement as successful as it is? And what do you think has been its most significant achievements?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be with you and share my experiences and my thoughts on the issues that you have been raising. And now, but what may be the success factor of the microcredit and Grameen Bank that I created in order to do that. One simple one, anybody can guess that it works for people. And in order to come to that point that it works for people, there's lots and lots of doubts, enormous amount of doubts and suspicions that maybe we are hiding things to make it look good. How can somebody lend money to a poor woman and get it back with interest day after day, month after month, year after year, and never fails? Must be something wrong. Either he's lying or he's cooking up things in his own way. This is one first disbelief that it's just not possible. It's such a ingrained into the minds of people, particularly bankers. Bankers cannot believe such a miracle can happen. This is one. Another one, that it may be possible in Bangladesh, because Bangladesh is a peculiar country. All kinds of strange things can happen there. So forget it. This is not applicable for us, but it's somehow it works out in that strange country. Then when it started being replicated in Malaysia, the first country to take it up is Malaysia. Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, that was the name of the program. They adopted it, they trained in Bangladesh, and it's working very well, as good as in Bangladesh. Then the explanation was extended, maybe something to do with Muslim countries. This is basic in their religion or something. Still, I'm saying the doubts that we have to cover, that's all the thing. Then it was adopted in Indonesia, again, Muslim country. Then went to Philippines. This time they had a difficulty. This was a different country, it's a Catholic country. They said maybe something Asian. That's something to do with the Asians. So it took a long time to kind of get on extending here and so on, Asian and so on, then come to other countries. So this is one that you have to, it's not convinced overnight. It took a long time because we defied all the banking rules. It's almost all the banking rules are reversed. Banks go to the rich, we go to the poor. Bank go to men, we go to women. They go to the city, we go to the village. They want collateral, we say forget about collateral. They said people should come to their premises to do the banking. We said no, people should not go to the bank. Bank should go to the people. So everything is upside down. It's a kind of things way. And despite all those things, it came out in a very successful way, established and crossed all the barriers, all the doubt, all the walls people have been in their minds, and made it happen. And now it's working in the United States called Grameen America. There are about 20 cities where it's functioning in the United States with 27 branches all over the United States, major cities, with 160,000 borrowers working for the last 12 years, loaned out about $2 billion with perfect repayment, just like in Bangladesh, or 100% women. There's not a single man in that picture. A startup loan is about $1,000 or less, and then gradually build up your credit records and continue to raise more and more, continue to get more and more loans to continue. Over the 12 years, the success rate of repayment is over 99%, 99.5% debt record. So this is what it took a long time. All I'm trying to say that it was not something easily went around and so on. And we have also complained from our side. When we continue with microcredit, it became popular. Everybody wanted to imitate, to do that. But they wanted to, some of them wanted to make it a money-making proposition. They want to make money with microcredit. I said, that's absolutely wrong. Microcredit was designed to make it as what we call a social business. Business to solve problems rather than make personal money out of it. So this should lead as a microcredit as social business, not microcredit as a profit maximizing business, which is the wrong thing about the banking system. So that's another factor that distanced us and made us another item of curiosity. How can you run a business without taking personal profit out of it? So we say there is a right microcredit and there's a wrong microcredit. Wrong microcredit is one who are in the way to making loan sharks, making money out of the poor people. So I'll stop here.
Thank you very much. And I think you hit the nail on its head, because everything that would work in a traditional financial sense, microcredit sort of went against it. It went for the for women, poor women at that, rural women, and without any collateral, and yet the repayment rates are such high, which is always, it has always been an absolutely an amazing story. It was like a wonder story. And as you said, people thought, yeah, it was an Asian thing or a Muslim thing, and then it went to the Catholic countries, and then, you know, you have Grameen America. So I think all the barriers, all the arguments sort of fell through. So despite this immense success of the microcredit movement, and which has been proven over and over that it works, why do you think it has not gained traction in the traditional banking system, which is focused on the for-profit and focused on the collaterals, focused on the rich people to do their business with? The two systems, the microcredit system and the traditional financial system, almost seem to operate in parallel with each other. Why do you think the traditional banking system, they have shied away from microfinance lending? They have not co-opted that into their strategic plans?
I would put it this way. Microcredit that we built, as I was trying to explain, is an antithesis of the banking system. Everything they do, we do the opposite. So for them, it's a kind of a shocking thing to tell them to lend money to poor people. Why should you lend money to poor people? What can they do with the money? And how do they pay back? They will just eat the money because they're hungry, their stomach is empty. So the moment you give the money, they will eat up the money. They will never be able to. And we can't do anything because you can't beat up a poor person to make money. Everybody look bad. So stay away from them. Don't touch them. And then they say it is without collateral. My God, how do we balance our book without all the collateral against all the loans that we gave and so on? How can we explain the risk factor into the lending money to the poor people? without collateral. So they cannot imagine loan can be given without collateral. So banks said that, and then he said, you are not allowed to make money in microcredit. So why should we do any business with them? As a business, our banking system excels in maximizing profit. That's the only goal they have. Make money, tons and tons of money. And the bigger money you make, bigger bank you become, and so on. So their whole tendency, whole process is to go at the top, not at the bottom. You cannot pull them at the bottom, no matter what. Some people in some banks sell some microcredit token system and so on, or they would rather give the money to an NGO, do microcredit, than say our bank does microcredit. But they don't do it themselves. They will just lend the money to somebody else to do the banking for them, using their money. Say we are involved in microcredit to justify that they are lending money. So I would say this is against their brain, against their way of their thinking, against the way of doing things. So after all these years, and during these years, microcredit became known to everybody and respected by all people around the world, gave all kinds of awards, all kinds of prizes to microcredit, including the Nobel Peace Prize, Congressional Medal of Freedom, and all kinds of things. So still, banks don't touch it. So this is still the same campaign. Why banks don't make it? In the beginning, they would explain to us when we are trying to do that, why the banks don't lend the money. They have a very straightforward answer: because poor people are not creditworthy. I said, what does creditworthy means? I said, because it simply means they will not be able to pay back. I said, they are paying back. I said, they will say, oh, this is just a side story. This is not the main story. It will collapse very soon. I said, I will continue to do that until it collapses. But in the meantime, you keep on watching us. Then I said, you are blaming people for not being able to borrow money from you because they are not creditworthy. It's their fault. They are not creditworthy. I said, the people can ask you the same question and put the blame on you, saying that you're not people worthy. You have not designed your system to work with the people. And it's not few people. You said microcredit is about the poor people. More than 70% of the population of the entire world is outside the banking system. So it's not just the poorest that we deal with, which we kind of specialize in. It's a whole range of people, middle-class people, low-income people, little businesses. They don't have any entry in the banking sector. They have to fall back on the loan sharks in their marketplace, in their wherever they work. They have an underground financing system. That's where the feeding system of the finance for the people at the level where banks will not touch. Bank is always at the top. Bank do not enter even the middle level and so on and so forth. So this is the trouble.
Thank you. I think it's quite interesting to see that even though the mechanism exists and it has proven to have worked, it's still, there are so much hesitancy to actually make it even mass scale than it can be. And which brings me to my next question. Over the last few years, you have switched your attention from microcredit more into social business, which is about creating businesses whose idea is to create a common good and not focus on profit making. Would you say this is a natural extension to the microcredit movement to achieve that, to reach those people who the traditional banking system wouldn't, traditional entrepreneurship would not under normal circumstances?
I'll put it this way, going back to our history. It was always with us. It's not new, added thing, social business. But it was not visible because people were paying so much attention to the credit part of it. They didn't look at the business part of it, what kind of business we do. When I was saying there's a right microcredit and the wrong microcredit, people who want to make money out of it, what I meant, real microcredit is a social business. See, so the microcredit was born as a social business. They are not interested in making money, and that's what the whole history of microcredit is all about. We are not interested in making money. We didn't want to make ourselves rich. We wanted to serve the people to solve their problem. And my position was, as I was explaining, that bank should make themselves people-worthy. Can we create a people-worthy banking system? That's what our, and we wanted to make sure we go to the poorest area within Bangladesh. Bangladesh at that time was an extremely poor country, and go into the poorest region and the poorest village and reach out to the poorest people in the poorest region. So that's our approach, not the other way. We go to the richest people, go to the city center, go to the highest, tallest tower to set up your office and so on. We just the reverse. We hardly had an office. We had the people-to-people banking. We didn't care whether we have an office or something. So this is the way it was born. Then we got involved with other issues because our interest is in the poor people, how to help the poor people. We brought the financial services to them. Then we looked at the poor people and we focused on the poor women. And we specialized on poor women. That's what happened. And again, this is against the banking system, the reason we pay attention to the poor. One of the arguments that I was making, banking system is wrong because not only it rejects poor people, it also rejects women of all kinds, even the rich women. If she brings a proposal to the bank will all say, have you discussed it with your husband? Would you please bring your husband along so that we can discuss the project? And this is the starting point for a rich woman. I said, the statistics that we had at that time in Bangladesh, not even 1% of the borrowers of all the banks in Bangladesh happened to be women. Just 1%, not even 1%. So there we wanted to do the other way. We said, let's do it to the women. They don't go to women, we want to go to women. So we made, in the first place, we said half the borrowers in our program must be women. This is our first decision. It was extremely difficult to persuade women to take money. Say, no, don't give the money to me. Give it to my husband. I don't know anything about money. I never touched money in my life. He handles it. He knows what it is. I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to create family trouble because women always felt they have trouble in the family. But since she was born, she was told, you brought misfortune to the family because you're a girl. Now everything has to be aiming at your marriage and all kinds of things. You are a burden on us. So she grew up as a non-person. She grew up as an invisible person. She doesn't want to be visible. Money makes her visible. She don't want to come near money. So we gradually persuaded them. They started taking it. And they were so successful. We removed the barrier of 50%. We said, now focus on women. Go as far as you can go. We could have done it 100%, but we stopped at 97%. So this is how women focus came in. And this is how the whole system gradually took shape as a social business. We started solving the problem of toilets. There was no toilet in the villages. So we said, we'll give you a toilet loan. And say, where is the toilet? You give us the loan, but we don't have a toilet. Who makes a toilet? So we created a company to set up, to produce toilet in the villages. We give loans to the bank and they use the money to buy the toilet from the toilet company and set up the toilet in the house. So it became a universal thing. All Grameen borrowers have their own toilets. Then it encouraged other villages to have toilets. Our toilet business grew. This was a separate business. But we create the business not to make money, to solve the problem of producing it so that it's available, so that it's easy for people. And we created healthcare programs, not to make money, but to solve the problem of the poor people, particularly poor women. If you are poor, if you're a woman, all the diseases in the world attack you. You are the most attractive destination for all the diseases. So we thought we want to help, see if we can address those. And their children are sick, malnourished. So we created healthcare programs. So we created a healthcare business as a business, not to make money, but to solve problems. This is a history of Grameen, all the companies that we grew along with. Then we brought the Grameen Energy Company to bring solar energy in the villages, replace the kerosene lamps in a very affordable ways, meaning that whatever you spend on kerosene, give this money every month to us, we'll give you solar energy. And it became very popular in the villages of Bangladesh because they don't have any electricity. Now they have electricity at the price of the kerosene. So you got it. So all these things are done as a social business. Then when it became bigger, then people started, what kind of business is that? Then we have to explain what it is. Then it became gradually visible. Visibility came much later. So it was always part of us. It is part of our system, part of our thinking. So it's not something added on for something else.
Thank you very much for actually bringing that in the forefront, because I think which is probably one of the reasons why microcredit has been as successful and as sustainable as it has been, because of this social business being ingrained into the fabric of it from the beginning.
Absolutely.
And so, which is what brings me, you have said that, when you foster social business, that we are all entrepreneurs, all of us are entrepreneurs. And you should unleash entrepreneurship on everyone. If a social entrepreneur, a youth, somebody who wants to start a social business of some sort, what would be your advice for them? What should be the challenges that they should look out for, or the opportunities that they should tap on, an aspiring social entrepreneur?
Let me clarify a little bit on the way, explaining what it is. You see, we created social business to solve problems without any interest in making money out of it. I started raising the question that and come to the conclusion that poverty is not created by the poor people. I kept on repeating that poverty is not created by the poor people. The moment you start thinking about helping the poor people, you go to the poor people as if there's something wrong with it. Give them education, give them this, give them that. Give them some orientation, as if they are in the fall. I said, there's nothing wrong with it. Poverty is created by the system we built. If you want to help the poor people, change the system. They know how to do it themselves. So this is the starting point for everything that I have done. I'm still doing it. Poverty is not created by the poor people. The fault is the system. And I even told the people, and this is usual explanation, I said, it's like a bonsai tree. You take the seed of the tallest tree and put it in a flower pot. The tree grows, but it's only this high. And we call it bonsai. It looks exactly like the big tree. Beautiful big tree, but it's a tiny little tree. It's a bonsai. I said, poor people are bonsai people. There's nothing wrong with their seed. Simply, society never gave them the space to grow as tall as they could have been. So it's not the fault of the seed of the poor people. There's something wrong with those people. It's simply society never gave them the space. Give them the space, they will make it happen. And then I started in my work, my first thing was credit should be accepted as a human right. Because people are discussing, well, why should you give money to poor people? What can they do with them? I said, forget about all this. It's a human right. It's a human right because it brings income for them. That's most importantly. You talk about human rights as food, shelter, and health, and nothing will happen unless he has the income or she has the income. Credit brings the income. And then I elaborated that people are born naturally as entrepreneurs. But the economic system pushes us to be job seekers. We're always trying to create jobs for the poor people. I said, that's wrong. You're making them slaves. Why do you try to make them slaves? They are entrepreneurs. But entrepreneurs always need oxygen. Finance is the oxygen of entrepreneurship. I said, you bring that oxygen and connect it to the poor people, suddenly they are alive, active, creative. Then everybody said, no, not everybody is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is a very rare quality in human beings. I said, you don't tell me. I'm dealing with this with millions and millions of people, particularly poor women in the remote villages. You just lend them the $10, $50, $20 loan, suddenly become the entrepreneur. If poorest people in the earth with the $20 loan, $50 loan can become entrepreneur and successful entrepreneur, paying back the money with interest and taking the next loan as a bigger loan and continuing the system again and again, anywhere in the world, you don't tell me that not everybody is an entrepreneur. So simply you're denied them. That's why they became what they are. They're looking for jobs because there's no other option for them. In order to survive, they have to go and take orders from you. Whatever order you're giving them, whether it makes sense to them or not, they have to obey because you pay for them. Naturally, they would like to become entrepreneurs. So we provided that oxygen and changed them. And this is what the direction we took and continue to make sure that it happened in that direction. So microcredit is about entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship, but as an entrepreneur, you can do both kinds of business. To make money for yourself, there's no problem, because you say each human being is driven by self-interest as well as driven by collective interest. Self-interest is making money because I want to maximize my profit. That's what we do. And collective interest, I don't want to make money for myself. I want to solve collective problems. That's what the social business comes, is a collective thing. Same person can do both. For poor person, immediate need is to make money so that she can handle her life and have a decent life for her. So go on with that. But if you want to be a social business entrepreneur, then you make a list of the problems that you see around you. Unemployment, education, healthcare, housing, name it, all old age, problem of people not having any kind of capability of doing things. Anything that you make a list, then say which one that you want to solve and come up with a business idea to solve it. That becomes a social business. All you have to do is not to take the profit out of it. Profit is rolled back into the business. I'm creating this business not to make money by creating unemployed young people into turning into entrepreneurs. This is my pleasure to do that. And people say, why should they have pleasure in that kind of thing? They have to make money. Money is the greatest incentive in life. You have taken away incentive from people by denying them to make money. I said, I'm not denying, I'm giving you a choice. You can do this, you can do that, or do both. Make money in one business and solve problem in another business. So why should they do the other business? There is no incentive for them. I said, look, you misunderstood the whole idea of incentive. Money is an incentive, I'm not denying that, but it's not the only incentive. There are other incentives in life. And I try to explain to them by saying, making money may be happiness. Making other people happy is a super happiness. So you make a choice, which happiness you want. You want your happiness or you want super happiness? This is up to you. If you don't believe it, try it out. I'm not imposing anything from you. So this is what the whole idea of social business came. And for young people who want to do social business, come up with a business idea. Well, all you have to do, come up with, say, I want to take 5 unemployed young people out of unemployment. That's my project. That's my business. Come up with a business idea. How to create a business where you can employ all these 5 young people to have their employment, so that they are not in the category of unemployed people anymore. You solve the problem of 5 people. Anybody can spend 15 minutes and create a business idea how to employ 5 people by investing some money so that they are no longer unemployed. Then you solve the problem of 5 people. If you know how to solve the problem of 5 people, you found the way how to solve the problem of 5 million people. Same thing, just repeat. Or you say, there's 5 unemployed people, I want to turn them into entrepreneurs. What do they need? They need the oxygen. Find the investment money. If you give them the investment, idea is not a problem. They have plenty of ideas, but the idea is useless because there's no money for them. So you give them the money, they use like microcredit we do. You do that and solve the problem. So that becomes your social business. This is how, so it's not a difficult thing. That's what I'm saying. You can make it as small as you want. Lots of people are on welfare. In many countries, there's welfare system, they remain in welfare, some of generational welfare. I said, your project may be, your business may be how to take 2 welfare people out of welfare by creating a social business for you. I don't want to make money, but my pleasure is I took 2 welfare people permanently out of welfare and they enjoy their freedom because welfare is a kind of a cage that you stay under. So you're a free person, you do your own thing, you're a dignified person, and you release 2% from that obligation of staying under welfare because there's no option for them. You create an option for them. These are the kind of things.
Brilliant. I think it's absolutely fantastic how you hit the nail on the head that it is not a question of ideas. The dearth of ideas is not the question. It is the it's the how, what you can do about it and how you can go about it. And it doesn't have to be earth-shatteringly huge. It can be something as simple as I want to take 5 people out of unemployment, and then you can scale it any way that you want. So this is definitely very exciting, and this also plays into your idea of a world of 3 zeros, which is net, so 0 net carbon emission. net
Yeah.
unemployment, zero unemployment, and zero poverty. So this can all
Yeah.
tie into very nicely, and the youth can
Absolutely.
definitely
Yeah.
contribute towards that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The theme that we have for our conference today, for this year, is solutions. What is it that we can do about it? How can we motivate and inspire the typical business community, if you please, to co-create solutions to what we call business as usual? And how can we motivate corporates worldwide to support social business and do their bit in reducing poverty and making poor people, giving them the opportunity to become the entrepreneurs that they deserve to become?
Yeah. I thought all the things I said answer that question. If you want to address the poverty, poverty is not created by the poor people. So don't try to change the poor people. Change what they are facing. All the extreme circumstances that put against them. Finance is one. So bring finance to them. Microcredit is already well established. You become someone who will be lending money. What we have done, another case similar to lending, I keep saying that the job is an artificial thing. People are natural entrepreneurs. Economic theory has blinded us, pushed us into wrong direction, and created all the massive problem. I said the problem of unemployment is created by the concept of employment. If we didn't have the concept of employment, we wouldn't have a concept of a problem of unemployment, because nobody is looking for a job. So why can you have unemployment? A natural human being don't look for employment. And I give reference to, I said, when we're in the caves, we are not sending job applications to anybody. From cave number 5 to cave number 10, do you have a job for me? I'm hungry. We didn't do that. We just went out and got things done by ourselves. And that's an entire thousands of years of history of human beings. They're not sending job applications to anybody. It began when our civilization turned differently. Somebody has accumulated things. He wants to get you a burden of doing things and so on, and deny things to you because I have the power, I deny. So in order to get some access, you have to work for me. So this is the beginning of the whole thing. It's kind of started that way. So I said, as an entrepreneur, all the unemployed young people, I tell them, you keep on repeating to yourself every morning you wake up, you tell yourself, I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator, I'm an entrepreneur. And you feel like an entrepreneur. There's a big difference become feeling like a job seeker, you feel small. You're at the mercy of other people. When you feel like an entrepreneur, you feel tall. You decide what you want to do. And others start feeling small in front of you because you are the decision maker. I said, all you need is to come up with good ideas. But people didn't understand how to make it happen. So here we don't have a job, now he's lecturing us to become entrepreneur. So what we did, we created a fund. We called it Social Business Venture Capital Fund. And tell the young people from Grameen families, which is our own family, because there's lots of young people coming up with education and so on. I said, don't look for jobs in Grameen families. Come up with a business idea and give us a business idea, and we invest in your business. We are a venture capital. We invest in your business. We are a social business. We are not interested in making money out of it. So you retain the profit for yourself. We don't touch your profit, but you return the money gradually as you grow your income. In the beginning, say we don't have business idea. We don't know how to come up with a business idea. I said, you are a son, you are a daughter of a Grameen borrower. Your mother is an illiterate person. She never left her village in her life. She never went to school in her life. She dared to take $10, $20, $50 loan and turn herself into a businesswoman. Never said that I don't know how to design a business. She didn't go to a business school to do that. She learned out of her own experience how to do that. She said, if you give me the money, I'll buy some chicken and they will lay eggs. I'll sell the eggs and pay you back the money. Or I'll buy with your money a calf and I'll have a cow and milk the cow and sell the milk and pay you back. That's no problem. Milk price is such and such. All I have to do is to produce it and give it to you. So this is how he did it. And your mother, illiterate mother, can become entrepreneur. What a shame. You went to school and now you said you cannot become an entrepreneur. I said, shame on you. You know the difference between you and your mother is a natural human being. No schooling has changed her mind. So could not contaminate her mind that I have to have a job. You went to school, they completely contaminated your mind. You became dependent. Somebody has to give you a job so that you can start writing things and so on, and somebody pays for it. I said, you didn't even think about being an entrepreneur. Your mother is. So in order to become an entrepreneur, go back to your mother, learn from her, unlearn everything you learned from school and learn from her. Be a natural person again, back to natural person. And then come up with a business idea, we invest in your businesses. Today, we have more than 80,000 young people running businesses with the money from the venture capital fund and the payment that they were making one after another. After first cycle of investment they returned the money, then they got the second cycle of investment and doing fine. We have no problem. We have given nearly $100 million in investment in these people and continue to do that. So this is the idea, the simple idea. You can start with you don't have to be 80,000 on day one. You can start with 2 people. Just invest in 2 people. They want to start a business. All you have done, invested in their businesses and hoping that they will return the money, and then you can move on to the next person and next person. Those are the kind of things. Social business is very simple idea. And you feel proud that you have done something which nobody else did before.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's when you said that, doing something for yourself is happiness, and then when you do it's for somebody else.
Making money may be happiness.
Making money is happiness, and making others happy is super happiness. Absolutely. And I think also I
feel that super happiness.
Absolutely. And it is within our powers. It is within ourselves to actually feel that super happiness. It's not something that anybody can take away from us. It's absolutely within our capabilities to do that. And also
nobody could protect them that.
No. And also I love the idea how you turned the thought of employment on its head, that if there's no concept of employment, then there is no concept of employment. And this is something that it's so simple and yet so profound that if you think about it, that we are all natural entrepreneurs, and when we try to put that into a bogged down system, then we become that thought process of, okay, we have to do things in a certain way, and that's where everything starts to fall into pieces. Dr. Yunus, thank you so much for joining us and for your inspirational words. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you and to listen to all the fantastic ways that you have come up with how microcredit, even against all odds, how successful it has been. And thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you with us. I know it's getting quite late in Bangladesh, so
yes,
indeed.
Appreciate that. No problem. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yunus.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khan, for your kind questioning.
Thank you so
much for this.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.